This is the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.
It's Thursday, and that means high school football is right around the corner. This is the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk. Let's hear about what's going on in and around Middle Tennessee from each of the writers in the Main Street Preps Network. We've got folks from Lebanon to Houston County, from Portland to Pulaski, keeping you covered each and every week. Find out what's going to happen tonight and tomorrow across the mid-state in high school football. Now, without further ado, let's start in Maury County with Maurice Patton, who has this week's update from there.
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Maury. This week, we've got opening round playoff action. We've got 3 teams advancing into the playoffs. We've got 1 team playing at home as Columbia Academy hosts the Kings Academy out of Seymour, Tennessee to open Division 2A action. The Bulldogs are the number 2 seed out of the D2A Middle Region, finishing up 7-3, finishing with back-to-back victories, both pretty convincing. The Kings Academy 2-8 on the year. They are coming in on a 3-game skid, and they've had a tough year, obviously, as 2-8 would tell you. So Columbia Academy, again, having won their last 2 games of the regular season, looking to continue that momentum and hopefully enjoy a deep run into the postseason starting Friday night against the Lions of the Kings Academy. We got 2 other teams going on the road from the area, as in Class 5A, Columbia Central, the number 4 seed out of Region 5A, visits Region 6-5A champion Page. That's 3-time reigning Class 5A state runner-up Page. That's undefeated Page. That's 13 points allowed all year Page. Needless to say, the 6-4 Lions have got their work cut out for them as they go out to Rutherville on Friday night to take on the Patriots, who feature 3 power conference commitments in linebackers Eric Hazard, who's headed to Louisville, Brendan Ains, who recently flipped from Wisconsin to Tennessee, and safety William Weebush, who is headed to Wake Forest. So again, tough sledding for the Lions, but second-year coach Tredarius Goff is sure to have them ready. This one might be better than some folks might think. We'll see how it goes. Finally, in Class 6A, Independence travels to Stewart's Creek. The Eagles 3-7 and are the number 4 seed out of Region 6-6A following their 30-12 win over Summit in the final game of the regular season to clinch that number 4 spot. Stewart's Creek comes in 9-1. The Redhawks are on an 8-game winning streak since falling to Blackman back in week 2, 35-28. So speaking of having their work cut out for them, Independence kind of does. But the Eagles have won 3 of their last 4 games after a tough start against a really, really tough schedule, as we've talked about on this show on various occasions. So Indy might rise up one more time. Don't put it past them. But those are the 3 playoff games we've got here in the opening round. I'm Maurice Patton with Main Street Maury. We'll see y'all next week.
His partner in crime on Main Street Sports Today, airing each day from 2 to 4 p.m. on weekdays on Main Street Media TV, is Wade Neely. Wade will have you covered in Giles and Lawrence counties. Wade?
What's up, folks? Wade Neely here, sports editor at the Pulaski Citizen, contributor over at the Lawrence County Advocate. Playoff time is upon us, and here is a quick preview of our area squads. 4 of our 5 teams have punched their tickets to the TSSAA state playoffs. 2 over in Lawrence County, and then 2 in Giles County. And we have a lot to break down in not a lot amount of time as we get you prepped for the opening round of the postseason. Let's start over in Lawrence County, where the Summertown Eagles have been one of the surprises, not just in 2A and not just in the mid-state. They've been one of the pleasant surprises in the entire state of Tennessee as Coach Winfrey and the Eagles finish the season in style, upsetting East Hickman last Friday night and therefore punching their ticket into the postseason as the number 2 seed. And so the Eagles, for their troubles, will get to host Jackson Central Mary. That will be a tough game. 7-2 Jackson Central Mary coming in to take on 8-2 Summertown. But the Eagles have had a fantastic season and will advance to play that home game this Friday night over in North Lawrence County. On the south end of town, I mentioned the Loretto Mustangs. It'll be an all-Mustang affair. They tried. They took care of Mount Pleasant. And if Summertown had not defeated East Hickman, Loretto would be the 2 seed. But as fate plays out, it is Loretto as the 3. They are a very dangerous 3 seed, but unfortunately they have a very difficult draw when they take on the other Mustangs, the Huntington Mustangs, over in West Tennessee. An 8-2 Huntington squad taking on a 6-4 Loretto bunch. That should be an entertaining showdown because Loretto, despite their record, is a very dangerous team, and I would not be surprised if they go on the road and potentially pull off an upset. On the other side of town, over in Giles County, how about the Richland Raiders? Nick Patterson and the Raiders finished the regular season as the region champs. They go 7-3. They lose in the Week 1 opener to Lincoln County, stub their toe with 2 of their last 3 games ending up in the loss column, but they right the ship on the final night of the regular season, blasting Moore County and punching their way to the region crown. They will host 5-5 West Carroll. That should be a classic game over in Linville. Richland was upset a couple of years ago by Adamsville in the opening round and hoping to avoid a similar fate. But Richland is playing with a lot of confidence, and that place will be buzzing coming up on Friday night. Speaking of Friday night, we close with Giles County. The Bobcats lost the region championship. GCHF tasting defeat for the first time ever in Region 4 AAA last Friday at Sequatchie County. They're still in the playoffs. They're still the 2 seed, but the road is going to be very difficult going forward for Giles County. Starting Friday night, they have a very dangerous 6-4 Tyner Academy squad coming to the Brickyard. Yeah, GC will be at home, but they have to be prepared for a really good team, and that's just in the first round. Potentially looking at road games in rounds 2 and possibly even round 3. It's all up to the mercy of upsets or lack of upsets from here on out for Giles County. But you got to be perfect from here on out if you want to advance. So GCHS and Richland are both in. Loretto and Summertown are both in. It's shaping up to be a wild Week 1 for all of our squads here in Southern Middle Tennessee. Wade Neely saying so long for now. We'll see you next time.
As always, thanks, Wade. Let's go over now to Rutherford County, where Monte Hale has you set with his Murfreesboro area report.
Hello, I'm Monte Hale, sports editor of the Murfreesboro Post, and it's Week 1 of the high school playoffs. Lebanon, 4-6 at Oakland, 9-1. Game Oakland should obviously win, but trust me, there'll be a couple of 4 seeds beat 1 seeds in the playoffs on Friday night, and Oakland doesn't want to be one of those teams. Blackman, one of those teams, they're 5-5. They play at Green Hill, who is 10-0. Green Hill out of Mount Juliet, and one would expect Green Hill to win that game, but I've got a hunch that Blackman is going to be right there at the end. They played the hardest schedule in the state. They played Oakland. They played Riverdale. They played Brentwood. They've played Ravenwood. I just think that schedule, and they played all those teams close. I just think that might pay off for them in this one. Cookville 8-2 at Riverdale 8-2. It's a good matchup. Obviously, they've got the same record. Riverdale's played a much tougher slate this year, but I expect a good contest. That's a 2-3 matchup. Independence, they're a 4 seed at 3-7. Will visit Stewart's Creek 9-1. That Williamson County region is a very good football region, and Stewart's Creek, they better dot all the I's and cross all the T's going into this one. Smyrna 5-5 at Brentwood 8-2. Boy, a tough matchup for the Bulldogs, who have at times struggled to score points. They have kind of lit the scoreboard up the last couple of weeks, but they're stepping up a class as far as an opponent this week in Brentwood. Houston County at 7-3 at Eagleville 7-3. The record suggests they're pretty even. Do not know a lot about Houston County, other than they have met once in the playoffs before. Eagleville making its 15th appearance in the last 16 years in the playoffs, including 9 out of 10 years under Coach Walker. And they had to win their last 3 games to get in. Franklin Grace 4-6 at PCA 7-3. This is a litmus test type game for PCA. The record's better, but I'm looking more at the fact that, they made the playoffs last year and got beat in the first round. They're building quite a culture over there under LeBron Ferguson, and I think he wants to see them take it to another level. So we'll find out on Friday night. And finally, we've got Fayette Academy from West Tennessee, 4-5 at MTCS 4-6. Don't know much about Fayette Academy. I know MTCS is a young team, play a lot of freshmen and sophomores. Matter of fact, about 70% of their team is freshmen and sophomores. So they're getting their first ever taste of the postseason play, and we'll see how they do. So again, we've got 8 teams in the playoffs, 6 with home games Friday night. So you've got plenty to choose from if you want to go watch some high school football. Again, I'm Monte Hale, sports editor of the Murfreesboro Post.
Thanks, Monty, as always. We'll take our first break right now. When we come back, more previews from around the Mid-State here on the Main Street Media High School Football Preview Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Stay tuned.
He shoots, and he scores!
So, you want to be a part of the Busy Bee team, huh? Well, how do you see yourself fitting into the organization? Oh, I get it. You want to be a weather bee.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome back into the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show right here on Main Street Media Television each and every week on Thursdays. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've got more from around the Mid-State to get you prepared for what's going to happen tonight and tomorrow in high school football around Middle Tennessee. Let's go to Wilson County where Tommy Bryan has you covered.
Hello, everybody. This is Tommy Bryan, sports editor of the Wilson Post in Lebanon. And here's a look at the first round of the TSSAA football playoffs involving 4 teams here in Wilson County. Fresh off a rain-swept 12-10 home victory over rival Mount Juliet last Thursday, Green Hill completed a perfect 10-0 season and captured the Region 4 6A title. With that win, the Hawks will play host to Murfreesboro's Blackman High School, the number 4 squad out of Region 3 6A. The Blaze slipped into the 4th spot following last Thursday's 19-14 road loss at Coffee County. Blackman comes in losers of 2 out of 3 to close out the season, including a 42-0 win over Rockville, and a 24-7 loss to Riverdale. Green Hill is 2-3 all-time in the TSSAA postseason. Region 4 6A runner-up Mount Juliet will play host to Coffee County, the third-place team out of Region 3 6A. Kickoff, 7 o'clock Friday at Roger Perry Field. The Red Raiders stand 5-5 after knocking off Blackman last week, the second win in a row for the program, to snap a 4-game losing streak. The Golden Bears come in 9-1. They pulled out a couple of tight wins over Lebanon and Franklin before that 12-10 loss at Green Hill last Thursday. Coach Trey Perry's squad enters the TSSAA playoffs for the 23rd time in the program's history. They've got a record of 23-22 in the playoffs. Coffee County is 1-12 all-time in the postseason. Lebanon's Blue Devils, the number 4 team out of Region 4 6A, is making the program's 23rd all-time playoff appearance on Friday at Region 3 6A champion Oakland. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. at Ray Hughes Stadium. Live radio coverage begins at 6:30 on WANT FM 98.9. The Blue Devils come in 4-6 after a 49-31 home win over Gallatin last week. Oakland, with a record of 9-1, earned the region title with a 36-21 victory over Riverdale. The only blemish on the Patriots' record is a 32-31 loss to Ravenwood back on October 25. Lebanon is 11-22 all-time in the playoffs, while 7-time state champ Oakland is 72-23 in the playoffs. Watertown's youthful Purple Tigers have made a habit of winning when it mattered absolutely the most in order to finish third in Region 4 3A. Earning third place in the region thanks to a 41-0 home win over Community last Friday, Watertown has to travel to Chattanooga Central in Friday's first round. Standing 3-7 with a roster full of sophomores and juniors, Watertown is making the 30th playoff appearance in school history. All time, the Purple Tigers have gone 13-29 in the TSSAA postseason. Chattanooga Central enters Friday's contest 6-4 and winners of 4 straight, including a 34-24 win over McNinn Central last Friday. Making their 17th playoff appearance, the Pounders have won 6 state championships under their belts, the most recent coming in 1965. That's a look at the high school football action in the first round of the TSSAA playoffs on Friday, November the 8th, involving Wilson County football teams. For Main Street Preps, I'm Tommy Bryan, and I will talk to you later.
Tommy, as always, we greatly appreciate it. Love seeing that mug each and every week on TV. Let's go now to Sumner County, where Blaine Kellar is standing by.
Sumner County Sports Editor Blaine Kellar here to wish you a happy postseason. 6 Sumner County area teams are entering into the playoffs, some with some big aspirations, perhaps going all the way to Chattanooga, and others hoping to spark an upset surge here in the first round. I'm here to break down the 6 games and give you one prediction for each matchup coming up. We'll start off in Class 5A, the 9-1 Beach Buccaneers taking on the 4-6 Brighton Cardinals at home. I think there's maybe one sliver of hope for Brighton here. No offense to the Cardinals out of Memphis. Taylon Carpenter could pose problems for the Buccaneers due to his athleticism. He's an Army commitment. But Beach has shown its success week in and week out to this point, riding a lengthy winning streak. So I would give a big prediction toward Beach, having them win handily in this first round. The same can't be said for Hendersonville, though a week ago they had a chance of locking up their first home playoff game since 2021. The Commandos have an unfortunate turn that now takes them to Southwind to take on the 9-1 Jaguars. My prediction's pretty simple here. Kelvin Perkins is going to have a game. The quarterback for Southwind has 29 touchdowns to just 1 interception. He helped lead his team to a win over Beach last year in the playoffs, and they're hoping for another postseason path in that same route again. Hendersonville has a chance to make this one of the more interesting first-round matchups across the state, though I'd still lean Southwind's way and expect them to take control of this first-round game in the Memphis area. Last year, Station Camp picked up a first-round upset against South Gibson. Can they do it again against Jackson Northside? My prediction leans yes. This Bison team has been just as hot, if not hotter than they were last year under second-year coach Chris Bain. The defense has played well, and Colton Overbay seems to really be gaining confidence each week in Jared Neal's system, former Beach quarterback and Westview head coach. Of course, the offensive assistant to the head coach at Station Camp. The Bison are rolling right now, and I think they'll have a really high probability of picking up a win in Jackson on Friday. Other games, including Liberty Creek and Fairview in a rematch of last year's second round. I'm leaning Liberty Creek's way just because of Mac Tuggle, though this could really be a toss-up on Friday night. Should be a fun one in Liberty Creek. That's where I'll be. JP2 is taking on Lausanne. They'll head the road to face the Lynx. And as my pick'em column states, the Knights really need to find a way to defend in order to garner any sort of interest in an upset. They've proven that their offense can play, but the defense needs to rear its ugly head away from the issues they've had in order to win it. Again, another game in the Memphis area on Friday. And lastly, 8-2 Westmoreland, though they've struggled in the past in first-round games, taking on Cannon County at home after locking up a region championship last week. The Eagles will have a challenge here. They're not going to be outmatching anybody, I'd say. Cannon County's a respectable 6-4. But Westmoreland should be favored and should have the opportunity to set up at least a quarterfinal rematch with East Robertson, so long as the Indians do their part in getting there. That's a look at the 6 playoff games we have here in Sumner County. Stay tuned to our coverage on Main Street Preps, the Gallatin News, and the Hendersonville Standard. Kick it back to you guys.
Thanks, Blaine. Always a pleasure to hear from you. We'll go over now to Robertson County, where David Wilson has you covered with a report.
Hey everybody, this is David Wilson, sports reporter for the Robertson County Connection, here to give you a quick preview of all the first round games across the Robertson County area for the TSSA football playoffs. There are 4 teams remaining in the Robertson County area. It is East Robertson, White House Heritage, Springfield, and Joe Burns still in the hunt for a gold ball. The 3 teams that left us and have to wait till next year to try to get back into the postseason, that is Greenbrier, White House, and Innovation Academy, who was ineligible to play in the playoffs this year due to joining the TSLA in a non-reclassification year. We'll kick things off on Friday night with Fayetteville, the Tigers, the 3 seed, coming out of the opposite region, facing the 2-seeded East Robertson Indians on Friday night in Cross Plains. East Robertson is staring down a very familiar path, trying to get back to the Class 2A Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga. They have a first-round home game against the 3 seed from the opposite region. Last year it was Cascade. This year it is Fayetteville. And then they're staring down the potential trip to face region champion Marion County and a quarterfinal matchup with Westmoreland this time. Last year it was Smith County. Smith County beat them in the regular season last year. Westmoreland beat them at home this year in the regular season. A very familiar path that the East Robertson Indians are staring down, and they have kind of caught fire the last couple weeks. Very similar to last year, so they could be building that momentum to another magical run to Chattanooga. Cade Brooks has transitioned to the running back position for East Robertson, filling in the shoes of star running back Isaiah Groves, who tore his ACL the first week of the year, and they found some magic there with him and Kason Young sharing the backfield. Moving on, a week after clinching their first region championship in a decade, White House Heritage is the number 1 seed coming out of Region 6-3A. They will host 4-seeded Maplewood out of Region 5-3A. Maplewood has a 4-5 record on the year. They were the last team in the dance coming out of the opposite region, but don't let their record deceive you. That is a very good Panthers football team. They are 12 points away, a goal line stand by Liberty Creek, and a touchdown finish against Stratford from being the 2 seed in a region that features state title contender East Nashville. So this will be a very tough matchup for White House Heritage this week. The Region 6-3A, the region that White House Heritage is part of, went 0-4 last year in the first round of the playoffs to the opposite region, Region 5-3A. So that is a preaching point for Scott Murray and the Patriots this week. Moving on, Springfield eked into the Class 5A playoffs thanks to Henry County's road win over Hendersonville. Springfield will travel to the Memphis area this week. They are the 4 seed coming out of the region. They will face Region 8-5A champion Mumford on Friday night in the Memphis area. Mumford won that region by defeating Southwind, the team that Springfield played in the first round of the playoffs last year and lost to 62-0. But there's something different about this Yellow Jackets team. They had the opportunity to go pull the upset on the road thanks to their really good defense. They held region champion Beach, one of the top 5 teams in the Class 5A poll, according to the Tennessee Sports Writers Association, to 21 points last week and narrowly missed an upset by 5 points in Shackle Island last week. So keep an eye on Springfield as they look to pull the upset bid thanks to their ferocious and swarming defense. And then finally, we have a rematch from a regular season matchup in September. Joe Burns, the number 3 seed, after their win last week over Red Bull Springs, they will travel to the Chattanooga area to face Whitwell, who they played in the regular season this year. Whitwell came into Cedar Hill in the regular season and won 49-7. They rushed for over 400 yards and had 6 rushing touchdowns. So that'll be a tall task for Joe Burns, who improved their win total by 2 wins this year under Justin Robinson. But it is a tall task as they go face Whitwell, one of the state powers in Class 1A. That'll do it this week on the preview. Looking forward to talking to you guys on the wrap-up next week.
Thanks, David. Greatly appreciate all of your work this season so far. We're going to take our final break of the day. Got a couple more previews to get to, so stick around here on the Main Street Media High School Football Preview Show, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
He shoots, and he scores!
So, you want to be a part of the Busy Bee team, huh? Well, how do you see yourself fitting into the organization? Oh, I get it. You want to be a weather bee.
Welcome back into the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show here on Main Street Media Television. Don't forget, you can always download your Main Street Media Television app on your smart TV or on your iPhone, Android, Fire Stick, Apple devices, all of that, Main Street Media TV. If you don't have access to any of those, you can always go to mainstreetmediatv.com, visit our YouTube channel, Facebook pages, or, of course, on X, formerly known as Twitter. Make sure to check out all of our great shows that air each and every day. They are on demand, online, as well as live each and every week. So without further ado, got a couple more previews to get to. Let's go to Calvin White, who's up in Montgomery and Houston counties.
Hello everyone, this is Calvin White, sports editor with Main Street Clarksville, here to give you a quick preview of all of the first round playoff matchups for all of the high school football teams in Montgomery County. 3 high school football teams made it to the playoffs: Clarksville, Kirkwood, and Rossview. Clarksville will host Germantown. Germantown comes in at 6-4. 3 of their 4 losses came to region opponents. Kirkwood hosts Bartlett. Bartlett comes in at 6-3. 2 of their 3 losses came to region opponents as well. And finally, Rossview travels to 9-1 Collierville. All three of these matchups will be tough for the Montgomery County area teams. Collierville, Bartlett, Germantown, all really good teams. The teams from Montgomery County will have their hands full, but that's why they play the games, and we're ready for the first round of the playoffs. Once again, I'm Calvin White, sports editor with Main Street Clarksville. I'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Calvin. Greatly appreciate what you have done this season. And finally, Cheatham and Dixon counties, where Casey Patrick is standing by.
Hi, how are y'all? My name is Casey Patrick. I'm a sports reporter for the Dixon Post and the Cheatham County Exchange. We're going to give you a quick rundown into the first week of the TSSAA playoffs. I have 4 teams that I covered that have made the playoffs. Dixon County is traveling to Houston, which is where they went last year. A tough game for the Cougars. They lost 47-0 last year, going back to Houston in Germantown, near the Memphis area. Houston, of course, last year 6A state champions. They beat Oakland in the state championship game, 23-9, I believe. Creekwood is going on the road to Chester County. Both of those teams are very evenly ranked. So looking to see what happens with the Redhawks. Cheatham County Central will be on the road at East Nashville on Friday. That's going to be a tough game for the Cubs. I think East Nashville's 9-2 or 8-2 coming into this game. Cubs, they have their work cut out for them. And Sycamore, the only team that I cover with a home game coming up Friday, they're hosting Stratford in the first round, which should be a fun one. That'll be a rematch of a game earlier in the year. Sycamore, they kind of laid an egg in that one, 27-6, lost to Stratford at home. I know the War Eagles are looking for an opportunity to get some revenge for that game. So 4 games, like I said, coming up this week. First week of playoffs. It's an awesome time. So y'all make sure and check back with us next week to see how these teams did. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Casey, thanks so much. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here on this edition of the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show. Again, don't forget tonight is the Main Street Preps High School Football Game of the Week. You can see it on Main Street Media Television. So please make sure to tune in, and you just may hear a familiar voice, or maybe not. We'll see. So join us then. Until next time, I'm Chris Yao for Main Street Media. Have a great day.
This is the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.